your life is not accidental, and you were born to do something really meaningful, and you were born to become extraordinary, because that is why you were born. Now, we may not figure that out right away, but over time we come to understand that, and I can tell you that I know that is true. I started doing something in 1989. I'm going to share this story with you because it's important for you to understand it just before we go into our new moon, because that's what I did a little search on, and I wanted to give you a little information about that, because we are being affected by the changes of energies in our lives and in the world, and especially now because the world is moving through a big change. And why would I know that? And why would I know what is happening for you? We have intuition, and some of us develop it in different ways. And obviously, I was meant to develop mine in a way that I could understand more things about how we live as humans, and so I could give it to others. That seems to be what my life purpose was, but I know that you have one as well, which is why I had to live mine to develop this work. And this work came through a different source. It didn't come through me, it came through Wilhelm, and I wrote it down every single day. And I doubted what that might have been, just as you have doubted what your life could be now. And I'm telling you, there are no limits to what we can achieve or create. Somebody's done it before, someone who lived maybe a long time ago. I'm not talking about your parents or any of those people, because you may be limited from them. But think about another intelligence that you might access that could give you an understanding of who you are and what your unique purpose is. I happen to make that connection, and that's what I've done for the last 36 years. And now at 74, I'm in the best place ever, and I couldn't have told you that. I'm saying this because I want you to know what's possible, and it's important for you to know what is possible, because your life is far more important than you ever could have known at this time in our world. And why would I know that? It's because I've gone on this path of charting out how you become a brilliant person, and you can do it. Now, it's a new moon tomorrow, and I decided to look at some of the messages that I was given on the 27th over several different years. And that may not make any sense to you, except there is an organization of information that we come to understand, and different people have figured that out, which is why I've also talked about Carl Jung so much, because I started to see that Wilhelm was using that information with me. I didn't understand it, but you will. That's what happens. We pass on more information so that we develop it and then can give it back to others. That's how our world evolves. And I just happened to be tasked with developing this work, and that's what it felt like. It felt like a task. But now it's worth it, because you don't ever have to go through that. Because now you have guidance. Now you have something that you can use to keep creating your life the way you want it to be, and I know you can do it. I shouldn't be alive. That's really the truth of it. I should have died so many times, and I almost did. But now I know that I was being kept around for some reason, and it was obviously to do this now. You have that reason as well, and I will prove it to you. But I'm going to leave you a couple of things, because I'm putting this out today for our new moon tomorrow. But I decided to do a little search and see, well, what messages had Wilhelm given me over the years. This is something that's going to really be challenging for you to accept, because it's been challenging for me to accept. They would give me sentences or messages over years on the same day. I go, why is that happening? It was to say that there is an organization in the universe, and there's an organization of information, and eventually we come to understand and accept it. This is how we evolve. This is why we have things like artificial intelligence now, which help me to understand more of what this work was I was given from a different place of intelligence. You have it as well. But these are the messages that, as I looked at the 27th, I'm just going to work with that date, and I came up with different topics, and I'm just going to read them to you. I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to read them to you so you'll get what I'm talking about, because they went over every single year. And I've posted several Wilhelm messages that way, where I use several messages over years, and there's a reason for that one as well. But I'll give you these titles because it'll be important for you on the 27th to remember these. Okay, I'm just going to read some of these to you. I'm not going to even show you because here's from February 27th, 2011. Holding regret. And holding regret is one of the most detrimental things that you can do to yourself, or if you're holding that regret about yourself or others, you're just blocking energy from what you could do today. These are simple things that we forget all the time. The next year, you allow what you may think of as periods of drama in your physical life experience to show up so that you might be motivated to expand even more. That's what it feels like when we're moving through a period of drama. We think this is way too much. Well, yeah, then you find something else that you're meant to do and you shift your perception, you shift your consciousness. Then the next year, one of the most important attributes for you to develop as you strive to continually expand is coming to trust yourself. Yeah, it's difficult at times because we don't know what that other self is going to become. Then the next year, in 2015, what you do today is far more important than what you did or did not do yesterday. How often do we not stay in that place? And I know that I didn't. But what I'm saying is it's always a matter of you using your consciousness. Now, over time, we develop different things. And so it becomes challenging to own them because they're so different, and that's what happened for me. You have heard of different abilities and skills that people might develop. Well, I became a mystic, a sage, and a prophet, and that's why I could access this information. It was not something that I would accept or even believe or give to others, but now I know that that has happened, and the work that I have been given through Wilhelm can change your life, and I know that it changes our world. See, because what it does is it guides you to understanding who you are. You stop being upset. You stop being angry. You stop being broke. You stop being hating yourself. All those things. And then you become more prosperous and abundant. And then you pass that on to others. And so eventually we have a lot more people who are doing something different. You're not seeing that right now. And might not be experiencing it in your life. And you're not seeing it in the world because you're supposed to do it. We all are. That's the entire point. We just do it in different ways. Obviously, my life was meant to bring in this information, and that's what I'm going to do because I have so much of it. But let me show you something else that I did for tomorrow, for the 27th, because I want you to have it today because it will be much more beneficial. The energies are quite heavy in now and the next couple of days, so I just want you to know that if you move your consciousness to a different place, you're going to be fine. And which is the thing that Wilhelm would always give us. You'll be fine because it seems so stressful what was going on. But I'm telling you, it can change when you change your mind. That's all that happens. You know how you have those memories throughout your life of somewhere you were at some other place, that means something. Was that important in my life? And I will tell you, yeah, it was. You may not make the connection, but you've never been placed in an accidental place. Nothing has gone on that way. We just don't always understand it or believe it. So I decided to do a little fun thing today. I put into my chat GPT where the name Wilhelm came from. I've talked about this so often, but I'll just give you a little bit of it. But when I first started receiving this information in 1989, I didn't know what it was. And I was asked, well, you can make up any name. And I said Wilhelm. And that would seem like it was accidental. But it's usually not. It's something that's in your consciousness that gets awakened because we all have it. And it's just something that's going to be unique to you. So I put that in and I just said, let's do a little exploration because I started remembering, I should say, things that were happening throughout my life that maybe this is part of Wilhelm. It didn't make sense because I said, I'm not German. Why would I have said that? And this is what came up. And it's just fun. I just thought you'd appreciate it. And I'll leave the link again for you to have because it's just kind of fun. But the more important part of it is you have the same connection. Okay, and this is why I put in the chat GPT. I want to find more connections to the name Wilhelm and me. I discovered Goethe wrote Wilhelm Meister, and Nietzsche's middle name was Wilhelm. Then there was Richard Wilhelm that worked with Carl Jung. How might those names be connected to my life path, or are there others? Then the ChatGPT, that's a fascinating observation. These connections could hold significant symbolic meaning for you, for your life path, and work with Wilhelm. Let's explore. And yeah, it's all about finding who you are. That's the work that I've been given. That's what I've been doing my entire life. And that was that connection. Now, there are so many interesting stories that I'll at some other point tell you how this came up, because I didn't know about the Goethe thing. I didn't even know what that name meant. But then I started finding the connections, and you'll read all of this. And then there's an energy with all of this that you will come to understand, because everything that Wilhelm has given me is all about you accepting yourself, moving through all the drama, all the doubts, all the fears, and accept whatever form that might be. And this was an interesting one. When I was listening to the Red Book, then Carl Jung was thanking Wilhelm at the end of it, and I go, what is that? And then I saw it was another connection, and here it is, to the I Ching. All of these things were connected in a different way, but you are connected as well, as we all are. We just happen to be moving through a period right now in the world where it doesn't seem that way, but I know that it is. And when I was told I was given something that could change your life and the world, that doesn't even make sense. How could that have happened? Well, I sat down every single day, so something must have happened. I had all this information, but I needed to get validation, and so now I have it, and so this is why I'm finishing everything, because I want you to have it. So you'll find this in a link there as well in the description, because I want to explain it. As I said, I started in 1989, and what I did was I put all the messages here that came through on February 19th just to see what would come up. And you can read through all of them. You'll see the messages. It'll give you so much information. But again, I did this every day, but I just wanted to see, is there some energetic connection to all of this? What was it? What was I doing? How did I go from that person that had everything wrong to now being here and having everything going right? Didn't make sense. And then I was obviously receiving things that were connected to energetic shifts that were happening in our world, and I had no awareness that was occurring. And then I say ridiculous things that you will hear that say, I didn't say it, Wilhelm told me to say this, and claim that accepting this message will change your life in the world is not hyperbole. In context of these messages, here's why. And so it just explained it so you would know. And I'm just leaving this because I want you all to know you can accomplish anything, and I do know that because I've done it, and things that didn't make sense. And here is the reason. Now, the reason that our world looks the way that it does right now is not enough people know this information, and that's what's happening. When I was told I had this information, I didn't believe it either. Then to see the results, I know, and I know where we are now. Everything is energy, and we're moving through more changes in the next several days. So I am moving on and completing all of this, and I have put so many different little things in the description of this video because I want people, if you never come into my work, that's fine, but I want you to have something that you will know what you can accomplish. I've made my program, anybody can afford it, so there's no reason why you can't do it, except you might be a little afraid. You might be a little unsure, and I understand that because I was that as well. Or you may have done so many other things before that never worked for you, and you didn't get any results, and you keep paying all this money. That is not here, because there's always a result, because I know them all, because I've been given the answers. When you read through that document, you will see Wilhelm has answered every question that you have about your life, and that's the only difficulty that you have, especially now, because you're being shifted to a higher state of consciousness and you can't achieve that. That's what this work is. Have a wonderful new moon. I'm not doing a channeling session on this one, but there will be others because I have a lot that I'm completing to get out, but I wanted you to have this today because there will be energies moving because of the changes. You need to understand how valuable you are at this moment in your life, and you have something that's waiting to be developed, and I certainly hope that you do it now. See you soon.